Hello everybody and welcome to another video. In this video, I basically want to introduce the negation and as well as the not equal to operator. So basically the idea is, let's say that we want to check whether one number equals another number. Again, we could do that using 10 equal 20, but let's just say I want the opposite. I want to say, is this number equal to this number? So that's the idea of where negation comes into play. And so how the idea works is, let me just take this example that we did last video where I said 10 is greater than or equal to 20, which we saw that evaluated to false. But now if I introduce something known as the negation basically is saying, does this number and this number, are they equal to each other? Does 10 does not equal 20? Meaning, is 10 not equal to 20? So let me go ahead and run it and see what this does. This basically evaluated to true. So the negation is basically a way to check whether two numbers do not match, and if they do match, then it's going to evaluate to false. So if I had 10 does not equal 10, that's going to evaluate to false because 10 is 10. Then we could also make this, does 10 equal 24? No, it doesn't, so that's going to be true. So the negation is basically the opposite of what you want. For example, if you want true, it gives you false. If you want false, it gives you true. So that's just the negation. So in this case, 10 does not, what's the opposite of 10 does not equal 24? It's equal. So does 10 equal 24? No, it does not. So what does this evaluate to? This evaluates to true, mainly because the negation is basically the opposite of what the operation you're doing is. For example, if I had 10 does not equal 10, the negation says, okay, what's the negation of that? The negation of that is this 10 equal 10. And that's what is that? That's true. So basically, it's the opposite of what you want. So let me go ahead and tell you what I mean. I'm sorry if you guys didn't understand. I'll try my best to explain it. But the negation, this is the negation. The negation is basically true equals false, and then false equals true. So what does that mean? Let's go ahead and use this example right here. 10 does not equal 10. What's the negation of that? Meaning, what's the opposite of not equal? Equal, right? So 10, does 10 equal 10? Yes, it does. And what's the negation of that? Because it's true, what's the negation of that? That's false. So basically what it's saying is 10, the negation of 10, equal 10, is false, mainly because 10 equal 10, and the negation of that was true. As a result, this negation is going to be false. I know it didn't make sense for some of you guys. Let me go ahead and try to make it clear. Let's say I had 24 does not equal 24. So let me go ahead and say 24 does not equal 25. What's the negation of this? The negation is 24 equals 25, meaning does 24 equal 25? No, it does not. So what's going to be the result of 24 equals 25? That's false. And what's the negation of false? The negation of false is true. As a result, we have 24 does not equal 25. So this is known as the negation. The negation is the opposite of what you want. For example, if you want true, it will give you false. If you want false, it will give you true. We could, let's go back to the example where we had 24 equal 25. Let me go to put in parentheses. Again, if you want two separate operations, you can do that. And 30 does not equal 30. What was this from the last video? Let's just see. So this was false, right? Because 24 equals 25, that's false. And we have an and. So that means right away, because this is false and this is true, the whole thing will become, there you said it, false. But here's where the negation comes into play. Let's say I want the negation of this. What I do is I have an extra parentheses and I put the not right here. And this is where I lose a lot of people. It's mainly because students don't really understand what this is and how it works. But my goal here is to actually show you what this does and how it works. But let me just go ahead and compile this and let me run it. And this became true. This is where the magic happened. For those of you guys who are wondering why this is, let me go ahead and take a step back and explain it. So let's work it from inside out. So what do we have right here? We have a negation. When you have a negation, that means the opposite of the condition that you want. For example, if a condition evaluates to true, you will get false. If the condition evaluates to false, the negation of that will give you true. Let's just see. For example, here we have 24 equal 25 and 30 equal 30. We talked about what and is. What does and do? And says, okay, are both or is everything equal to true? No, it's not. So as a result, what does and give you? And gives you false, at least for this case right here, because we have a false and a true, and a false and a true does not equal every condition is not true. So what is the whole thing evaluate to? We have false. And now here's where the magic happens. The inside condition is false, right? But we have the negation of that. What's the negation of false? The negation of false is true. So what do we have as a final result? Because the inside evaluated to false, and we said we want the negation of that. The negation again is the exclamation mark. What does that condition give you? It gives you true. And that's how we got true right here. Let me go ahead and show you with another example. You could pause the video and try it on your own, but let me just explain what this does. Here we have 24 equal 25, or 30 equal 30. If you remember or does, or basically says, is one thing true? I don't care about everything else if it's false. Is one thing at least true for all the conditions we have? Yes, it is. This side here, 30 equal 30, it violates to true. So as a result, what does this whole thing give us? Or says, is one side true or something is true? Yes, at least one thing is true. So what's the final result of this whole thing? It's true. But we said we want the negation of that. What's the negation of true? It's false. So that's basically the idea of the negation. Oh, sorry, I think I made a mistake here. I wanted to print out what happened here. Oops, what did I do wrong here? So 24 equal 25. Oh, sorry, I need to have extra parentheses. I apologize. That's what happened. There we go. That's how we got false. Again, I think I might have deleted that parentheses from the last example, but it should not have validated to true. But what we are doing here is we are saying 24 equal 25. Earlier what it was, the negation was right there. But essentially what's happening is the inside is true, and we are getting the negation. Again, the negation is basically the outside condition. Again, this is where a lot of people are confused about what's with these nested parentheses. Let me go ahead and do the example I had earlier. Let me do Boolean yes, and I'll just set that equal to this. And then Boolean no, and I'll set that equal to this. And I will go ahead and delete this, and I'll just say yes, or instead of 30, I just say no. But I guess this will help people understand. It's basically, the idea is, instead of creating individual variables for it, I just put it right here as one big line of code. Again, that's not a good idea to do because you will lose a lot of things, but I did it because it was a short example. But I guess this will help people understand. Here we have a condition where the inside condition could be true or false, and the negation of that is whatever this evaluates, if it's evaluated true, the negation will give you false, and whatever the inside condition is, if it's false, it will give you true. In this case, because yes or no, one of these conditions is true, and we have an or, it will value to true, but we said the negation, again, the negation is right here. We can have the negation outside. We can have it inside. We can say yes, does not equal no. There's different ways of the negation, but essentially the negation is the opposite of what you want. And I feel like this is the part of the Boolean where a lot of people have a hard time understanding, mainly because they just don't understand what importance it serves or what it does or how to actually visualize it and understand it. But hopefully after watching this video, you have a good, at least a solid fundamental understanding of Booleans, as well as the negation and an or and what they're used for. Thanks for watching this video, and I will definitely see you guys for more future videos. Take care.